Greetings and good afternoon. Tony Davis coming to you from Mastermind Organized Effort Public Speaking Leadership Academy. Today, I'm in Jamaica Plain Projects, and I'm shooting this video here today because this was part of my formative years. This is where some of my growth occurred. And this is also a place where some of my thoughts were formed. Living here as a kid, my mom, as I explained on some of the other videos, she had to rely on public assistance as many of the other parents living in Jamaica Plain had to do. As it is said, they call it a project. Now, ask yourself a question. What is a project? A project is something that you have to go and you gotta figure it out. You gotta go and put it together. And then after you figure it out and put it together, you got to find out what the effects of it was or going to be. And that's what I believe this project was created to be. A project. They brought people together, put them on top of one another, and didn't even give them space, arm length, to have your own personal space. So what did that cause that we understand today? It caused some anger, it caused some confusion. And when people don't have their personal space or time to get their thoughts together, what happened? It become turmoil. And that's where that term we talk about crabs in the barrel. This project was built to be just that, crabs in the barrel. And I was part of that, being one of the crabs in many of the barrels that they put together as a master project. And I'm saying that to say that from being here and my formative, this being part of my formative years and growing up, the mindset that I developed by being around the people, by being in the atmosphere, and seeing the devastation, in seeing the arguing, the fighting, and just the need for survival on an everyday basis as a child played a big part in my formative years in growing up and some of the decisions and choices that I made at that time. I remember going to the Mary E. Curley School, and I can recall skipping the school because at that particular time they had shoes that had a metal rod at the bottom of them. And my mom couldn't afford to buy me any more shoes until the next check came in. So I remember going to school and skipping the school so that metal rod at the bottom of the shoe, you wouldn't hear it click up and down, click up and down. And I also remember being talked about and kids laughing at me. And I understand today that that was then, and those were kids, and kids do some cool things. However, I want to say that today I understand much better. Also, I can recall when the ice cream truck came through and the pizza truck came through and all the other kids, well, some of the kids, their parents were able to give them an ice cream, a slice of pizza. And I remember sitting on the stairs feeling that shame in the pit of my stomach, feeling that hurt in the pit of my stomach. As I began to grow up, we eventually moved outside of the projects. And all I really wanted to do, my goal was to be able to help my mother, help my siblings, and to become something other than what I was exposed to. I made some bad decisions, some poor choices due to my own thinking, and allowing where I grew up to follow me. I had no one to say to me, Tony, that was only a place where you grew up. That's not who you are. That's not what you are, and you do not have to become that. Over time, a lot of things happened in my life. Some were good, some were not. However, I have to keep in mind that those are my formative years. Today, I'm a business owner. I own a small construction company. I'm also a facilitator where I teach young men 14 through 21 the fundamentals of construction. But the first thing I would like to teach them is how to rebuild yourself and change the mental map, your paradigm. I can teach you how to do things on the outside, but if I can't teach you how to change that mental map inside, these young men will continue to walk around with a bracelet on their ankle and be monitored for the rest of their lives. I was once one of those young men, but I had to begin to believe in myself, and it took someone else to help me to begin to believe in myself. I'm also on a board of a prestigious community center here in Boston, one of the first. I'm a father, I'm a friend, I'm a teacher, and I'm a guide. And it took some doing. And what I had to do was, I had to slow down the negative talk inside. I had to begin to repaint those negative dark pictures inside. And as someone said, if you want the darkness to disappear, just open up the blinds. Today, when I see mothers walking down the street with their children and the ice cream truck is out, I offer to buy their children an ice cream. And I do it because I remember how I felt back then as a kid with everybody else having that ice cream. I don't want no other kid to feel that. I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever felt that shame in the pit of your stomach? Have you ever felt that hurt in the pit of your stomach? And how it really felt? I'm going to challenge my viewers, and I'm going to challenge other people to just remember that and know that we may not have much, but we do have more than most. And what little bit we do have, we can share that to bring a smile on someone else's face. Because we might change that child's paradigm. We might change that child's mental map. And we might allow that person who can't afford to do it for them children, that one day they will be able to, and they'll do it for someone else. I just wanted to share with you today part of my formative years, which is here, or was here, in Jamaica Plain Projects. I'm grateful for those experiences. I'm grateful for the people that I met, because it allowed me to be who I am today. Today, I think about all those years behind me. And being able to share that with you today, being able to share it with others, it's a blessing, it's a gift. And I want to say to you that it's not about where you grew up. It's not about the things that you were exposed to. Do your best to get beyond that and know that those things that you went through, very hurtful, and some of them are shameful, but you know those things that you went through. Allow those things to become fuel today. Allow it to become compassion, empathy. As Churchill said, fear. You don't have to fear anything but fear itself. Les Brown, in many of my videos, what he said was that in life, we're either in a problem, just getting out of one, or headed toward one. But just because we're in a problem headed toward one, or just getting out of one. Doesn't mean that we can't change our lives for the best, and we can use our experiences and our voice to help change someone else's life. I just would like you to know that the things that you've been through, once again, they're not for you. You were in school as though I was in school just as well too. And those things I went through is allowing me today to be a teacher, to be a guide, as well as a continued student in this thing that we call life. Thank you for allowing me to come into your home. Thank you for giving me some of your most valuable time, which is a commodity, which you cannot get back. We can lose everything that we have, but we can get it back. But we can't get our time back, so I truly thank you for that. I'm urging you that when you leave your home, your warm home, and you go outside and you get into your car, or you get on the bus, or you're walking down the street and you see someone laying on the street. You see someone in front of a Dunkin' Donuts who can't afford to get a cup of coffee, but you can. What's a cup of coffee? Their cup of coffee might change that person's day or that person's life. Use what you have to make a difference. Thank you.